So introduction to Python programming with collaboration classroom. But first of all, I will go ahead and start this question to all of you. Have you guys heard of programming before? If so, what do you guys think programming is? What do you guys think programming is? Does anyone of you want to guess what is a programming is? You guys just unmute your mic and talk.
Code.
Okay. Yeah. Yes, you can continue if you haven't finished. Code. Okay. All right. Good. Code. Does anybody have any other? What do you think? This slide is impossible to work with. Does anybody have any other ideas? What is programming? Want to share their idea?
I was in the last class you were teaching introduction to web development.
That's interesting. Yeah, that's cool. So maybe first few classes.
Same.
You guys already know the information, but yeah. So for those of you who don't know, programming is basically a way to communicate. It's a way to communicate for us. So programming is a way to communicate for us to computer, not necessarily just computer, to any electronic devices you might have, your phone, your computer, your tablet, your iPad. These are the software inside of them is made by programming. For some reason, I keep saying programming is made by computer. I mean, kind of is, but still it's invented by human to talk with computer. So these are some samples of tools or product made by programming. First is a website. This is a website. Every website that you see online is somehow made by programming. And if you don't believe me, you can, if you're in a Chrome browser, you can press Command-Shift-J to see the code behind of the website. You are on a Chrome browser. Other browser is fine. Just maybe take different steps. But this is usually it's a shortcut, Control-Shift-J or Command-Shift-J, depending you're using Mac or MacBook or Windows.
There's
okay.
also a feature called Control-Shift-U, which allows you to view the source.
Yeah, this is gonna allow you to view the source, so you can see the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript code behind to build the website that you see. And it works basically on every website, any website. Okay, does anybody recognize what this logo is? This is pretty old logo, but does anybody recognize what this logo is?
Microsoft.
Okay, what tool of made by Microsoft? What specific thing it is?
Windows.
It is Windows.
Windows 7?
Windows 10.
No, it's just Windows. There's no specific. And by this logo, I think this is for, yeah, Windows 7-ish, maybe even lower. Maybe it's like Windows 2000 that still uses this logo. But does anybody know what is what? So since, for example, GitHub.com is a website. What is Windows? What kind of category does Windows fit into? It's not a website. What it is? Does anybody know what is Windows?
The software?
Not exactly. What kind of software? We have website as a software where we literally just have some app that we can install application. What is Windows exactly?
Operating system.
Yeah, exactly. It is. Let's see. Yes, it is operating system. OS, operating system. This is what Windows is, and MacBook or iOS. iOS specifically is another operating system for Apple, and it's maybe some have heard of Linux before. Linux or Chrome OS. These are all different operating systems. And finally, this is. Does anybody recognize these series of logos? So we got a lot of logo here, 9 logo. Does anybody recognize any of it? This is probably more newer window. Yeah. It says a Microsoft product.
I think it's editors. It's editors like Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint.
Yeah, the official name for this is Microsoft Office 365. Microsoft Office 365. These are what this tool called. We got Outlook, Cloud, Words, Excel, PowerPoint, OneNote. I'm not sure what the S symbol means. T and Team and Y for something. But these are another kind of programming tools. Tool made by programming. This is what we call a software exactly. So basically, it's not hardware. Hardware is the computer itself, but software is what can you use. What can you actually use with this computer hardware? These are the software that you might install. For example, now you might be either using your browser or you might be using another software called Zoom to watching this meeting. These are all different tools that's made by programming. Okay. All right. Does anybody have any question for now? Go ahead and, okay, good. Yeah, that's like, I might you just, yeah, that's probably all these like 9 logo represented Microsoft Offices. Okay, well, now what we want to talk about is how exactly we can communicate with computer. So now we can see a lot of tools that can be built by programming, but now we will need to specifically talk about programming languages, where the tool that enable us to communicate with computer. Exactly. So if you guys want, there should be a tool called Annotate on the menu. You should be able to start Annotate. And what I want you to write is I want you guys to write some programming languages that you might know. I want you guys to write some programming languages that you might know. Okay, the screen gonna get really messy really quick. All right. Try to not write some language that's already on the screen. Okay, so, okay. Yeah, so we see C++, C#, HTML, Scratch. Yes, Scratch is a programming language. JavaScript, Java, yeah, we got 2 Java. And then I'm not sure what this green text is. Ruby, yes, Ruby is another programming language. R, yeah.
I'm playing Visual Studio.
Visual. Oh shoot. Okay, this is a hard question. Visual Basic is a programming language. Visual Studio is more like more like a code editor. All right, we see some old language now. Pascal. Visual Studio Code is not a programming language. It's a software that is built in JavaScript/TypeScript. F#, yes, another weird programming language made by Microsoft. R, C, yeah. So it seems like you guys know a lot of programming language, and I probably should take a screenshot of this. So to just show how much you guys know about programming already. So okay, so you're gonna assume for this is the language that you guys write on the screen. Maybe you guys have used some programming languages, 1 or 2, maybe used for your project, just building some cool stuff, building some website, or maybe some of you want to take it into another step, competitive programming. But yeah, here is all of the kind of programming language. And of course, we have many, many more different programming languages. You guys can go to Wikipedia to search it up. There's a list of programming languages sorted alphabetically by programming. But yeah, that's a lot of programming languages. Unfortunately, I had to clear all this drawing now because it's gonna be a mess really quick. Okay. So now what I want to do is we will specifically focus on one programming language in this class. We specifically focus on one programming language in this class, and that is called Python. Okay, of course, some of you heard of Python before, so I'm not going to ask this ridiculous question again. But Python, this is a newborn language. It's not old. In fact, relatively speaking, it's much more younger than C, C++, Pascal, these programming languages. Python is really relatively a new programming languages, and then soon a programming language, and soon gained popularity. And then it's the top 3 most popular programming language, which I believe rest are like JavaScript and Java. So Python, JavaScript, and Java are like top 3 most popular programming language universally. So now I'm going to specifically focus on this programming language, one of really powerful programming language, and we'll take a look. So today what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at some basic ideas and principles behind program. Okay. All right. So as I just said, in this class we'll focus on Python, and then now what I want you guys to do is this. So let me go ahead and exit out really quick. All right. So now what I want you guys to do is open this Git pod interface as I ask you guys to open before the class started. But just in case you don't know, universally, okay. Well, mine universally just means like basically Python is really popular among the world. Okay, so all right. So let's see. Does everybody have this screen open up right now? Because we're gonna use the screen to code. Now, I highly recommend you to follow me. What code editor?
I don't know what I'm on.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know the link.
Okay. Okay. Here's a link. Oh, who am I speaking to, please? What's your name? Oh shoot! I sent privately again. Okay, just one sec. Okay, here is a link for open up this interface, and then you may need to create an account for it to work. All right, so I believe you guys can raise hand. If I know how to raise hand in Zoom, go to your participants menu and there should be a hands icon. Yeah, I just see somebody raise their hand. You should be able to see a hand icon. And if you click on it, it means you raise your hand. So if you have any questions, don't raise your hand, just unmute and ask. And try your best to not send in a chat because I don't check chat often enough. So maybe not able to get into the question. But for now, if you are finished and you're seeing some screen like mine, please go ahead and hit that blue raise your hand button so I know you guys are on the same page as me. And then once majority raise their hand, we will go ahead and continue. Or you can just send a chat to me said that I finished. Either way, if you cannot raise your hand. All right. I will take a break in between as well, just like our old class. We'll take a break between 5, somewhere in 5.
I just want to say right now, so my computer's a little bit slow.
Okay, it's fine. I'm gonna go slow as well. So, and then if you cannot follow me, there is a link to code that I will use during this class. Source code, you can click on it. It's gonna download a zip file for you, unzip it. And there should be a folder called week 0. Open that folder and there should be all the files that you need. Okay, let's see how many people raise their hands. Just need a few more. Okay. Does anybody have any questions on how to open up this interface? Does anybody have any questions? Or if you guys have a code editor installed on your computer, you can use that as well. So that's maybe a little bit harder for me to debug your problem, but it's fine. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and get started. Does anybody need any help on setting this up, setting this GitHub interface up? Because I kind of need to know, like, your guys, like, do you need any help? Or do you guys need more time? Okay, Sal, okay, I don't know how to pronounce his name. Sal Rice. Okay, Sal Rice. I apologize. I'm pretty sure I didn't pronounce that name correctly, but do you have any questions that you don't know how to open up this interface? Okay, well, I'm just gonna lower everybody's hands now. Since nobody said anything, I'm gonna assume everybody's on this page now. Okay, I'm gonna assume everybody's on this page. Where you can just unmute and say, wait for me for just 1 or 2 minutes. But for now, I'm gonna get started.
Wait.
Okay. See,
I'm almost there, but
all right, there we go.
which one do we do? Do we do like there are like 3 options. Which one do we do?
Log in with GitHub. That's what you're talking about.
Wait, I have a question.
Yeah.
My screen is not the same screen as yours.
Okay, what's your screen?
It's like, I don't know, it's just a bunch of code.
Okay, did you see Start and Launch Workspace button? There should be a button. Did you see that button?
No.
No? Okay, I'll go ahead and let you share your screen first. And
Can I?
now you can share your screen, so I can take a look what your screen is.
Can you see it?
Okay. Okay, well, this is a terminal, and this is a local terminal. Wait, is it? Wait, okay, I cannot see the app name, but I guess it's fine. Okay.
This is look.
Okay. Okay. Wait. Okay. Could you open up your browser, or do you have a local code editor installed? Do you have like Visual Studio Code installed?
I don't know what that means.
Okay. Okay. Well, to keep it simple, just open up your browser. Just open up your browser.
Google.
Yeah. Open up Google. Yeah. And then go to. I'm gonna send the link again. So it's bit.ly/get part 1. Excuse me. And then click on the link. Basically, you could just try click on the link, and then just click on login launch workspace. Choose login with GitHub. Create an account if you haven't yet, and then we can get started from there.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Does anybody else need more time? All right.
My computer's still a little bit slow, so.
All right. I'll keep it slow, so no worry if you cannot copy the code. I love your hacker screen background, by the way. Okay. Okay.
Also, I may be looking up. It's because I'm using a double monitor.
Okay. All right. Good. Good to know. Okay. So now let's go ahead and get started. So for those of you who haven't finished yet, don't worry, I'll go slow. So you should have plenty of time to catch up. You can just go to the course website, and there will be a zip file that you can download. That's the source code for today's class. All right. So I want you guys to find the 3 dots that I just annotated on the screen, and then I want you to click on that. So what are we doing right now is we are trying to create a new file. Click on it, and you should see a new file button, or it's not really a button, it's a drop-down menu, but you can just click on this new file, and then it's gonna ask you to go ahead and create a new file, and I'm just gonna keep it simple. I'm just gonna name this as let's see. I'm just gonna name it as variable.py, since that's what we're going to talk about.
Well,
Yeah. Yes.
do I have to name the folder the exactly same?
Name the file. Yeah. Try to name it exactly the same. All right. Okay. So once you create this variables.py, we'll go ahead and start it. Let's see. Where we're going to go ahead and start it is going to talk about how to define a variable in Python. First of all, has anybody heard of variable before? Whether in their math class or in their computer?
Yeah, it's basically something you change.
Well, it's something that can change.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's that's kind of what its variable is partially. And then basically a variable is where you can store a value and you can change the value. And then in most foreign languages, certain variables value cannot be changed, but most variables value should be able to change unless you want to keep it a constant variable. Okay, but Python don't have like constant variable or just like changeable variable. All the variable is changeable, and then we'll explain what this changeable mean. But to define your first variable in Python, it's pretty easy. I'm just going to define a variable called n, and I'm going to set this equals to 15. N equals to 15. Just like our math class, we are trying to solve like algebra. This is the first step. Like maybe this is a solution that came up with, n equals 15. This is basically this means the variable n has a value that is 15. Okay. The variable n has a value that is number 15. And then to make my life easier, I'm just going to turn my autosave on. So I'm just going to go to File, Autosave, click on it, and then going to close the file first, and then going to open this again. All right. So now autosave is activated among all my files. All right. So now I'll just create a variable called n and set it to 15. Pretty simple so far, right? Okay. Okay, so now I want to talk about the difference. So since some of you mentioned programming languages such as C, Java, and stuff like that, or maybe even JavaScript, does any of you see some difference between how Python defines a variable versus other languages? Does anybody see some similarities and differences between how Python defines a variable and other languages define a variable? Does anybody see any similarity or differences?
I think Python is much shorter. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure Python is usually much shorter than like Java.
Okay, how about this? Could you explain how would you define a variable? For example, in this case, how would you define a variable n and set the value to number 15? How would you do that in Java? How would you do that in Java if you try to set a variable value equals to 15? If you know, that is. Do you remember?
No, I don't remember.
Okay, all right, it's fine. So some other programming languages like Java, C, C++ require to put the type in front of it. For example, in C, if you want to define a variable called 15, I'm just going to keep it simple. You might need to write something like this: int n equals to 15. Notice we have an int in front of it. An int in front of it. The int is a type of this variable.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is it for integer? Does it stand for integer?
Yes, int stands for integer.
So I'm on the page you sent me in the link, and I see something different from mine. So
Okay, so you
So-
see,
And you do not see the repo. That's the problem.
I don't see the repo.
okay, could you share your screen?
Okay. So I'm on.
I don't mean to you to. Okay, yeah, there you go. This is the screen that I want you to see.
But I saw you have something called variable.
Okay. Okay. So then you need to create a new file. So to create a new file, you can click on here, this 3 dots, and then click on new file. You can type variable.py. Py is py.
That
Variable. I'm pretty sure it's not readable, but variable.py. variable.py. Yeah, .py. Could you change V to lowercase, please?
okay.
That's gonna make it easier. All right, click on OK. And then there you go. Now I can type the code as I tap on the screen.
I have a question. How do you enable autosave?
How do I enable autosave? Okay, let me share my screen again so I can show it to you guys. Enable autosave in Gitpod. First, click on File. Click on File. And then click on autosave. It should be unchecked for you, but since I just did that, so now it's checked. Click on autosave. And then close your old file. Close your old file. And then open again. So now all your files should be auto-saved. Okay. All right. So now we briefly talk about type. Since type is not really a big deal when we're dealing with variable. Still, in Python, type does exist in Python. For example, this variable that we're dealing with here, n, is have a type of int because it's an integer. Other type we have, such as float, which is a decimal point number, for example, 1.2. And then another thing we have is called stir, which is just regular text that is enclosed by quotation marks. Quotation marks, so hello, for example. So these are some basic text, a basic type in Python. I know we definitely have more types. But we'll talk about them eventually and gradually. We're not going to cover all the type in this class, in this session at least. All right, so this is briefly about type. Don't worry if you don't understand it. Python's really being easy on us. So which is you could technically redefine this variable n to any type you want. For example, if you say, okay, I don't want the n equals to an integer anymore. I want the n to be equals to a star. So again, to create a star or a string, it's going to enclose in a quotation mark. You can do that by just pressing quotation marks. And in here, I'm just going to type this. Hello world. And now the value of n get redefined to this star called hello world. All right, get redefined to hello world. All right. Okay. So some basic parts of defining, redefining, and compare and contrast differences when we similarities when we define a variable in Python and other programming languages. Does anybody have any questions? Does anybody have any questions? What's the variables? All right, I'm just gonna check chat really quick as well, just in case anybody got a question here. Yeah, that's some that's exactly some differences. And then notice that sometimes in other programming languages, you will also need to define a variable using a keyword. We don't need to define a variable using a keyword in Python. You just need a variable name, equal sign, and the variable value after it. Okay, that's all you need to do and you need to know. Okay, so this is variable. Now what I want to talk about is inputs and outputs, or shortened as I/O. I/O stand for inputs and outputs in Python. So now you can see, okay, it looks pretty good. How can we define a variable in Python? But for now, all the variable is useless. First, we don't know how to actually see the result. We don't know how to quote unquote run the Python script. And then even if we know how to run the Python script, we cannot see anything. That's boring. So now what I want to do is I want to start to touch on I/O, inputs and outputs. We'll start by talking about inputs. Turns out we can deal in inputs pretty easily. In here, I can just say print, and I'm gonna say hello world. Notice that print is what we call a function. For now, I can just imagine this is some other people's code that they use to benefit your life. So now you can see we have a print and we have a parenthesis. And instead of a parenthesis is a string. It's a string, well, whatever you want to print out, technically. And then if we want to run this again, we can now start to run our Python script. In here, we can just type Python io.py. Press enter, and now you can see hello world, get it, prints out on the screen. Specifically, terminal. So basically, this part is what we call terminal. Terminal. So this is what we call a terminal. A terminal is where you can interact some different commands to specifically run Python code, compile Python code, interpret Python code, etc. And then we have some part above here, which is actually your code space. This is where you will write your actual code and stuff like that. Okay, so we'll use terminal and code screen together. Okay, mix them together. Okay, so now you can see we get hello world get printed. That's pretty nice. But now what I want to talk about is how can we dealing with inputs. Turns out that we can do inputs pretty easily in Python as well. So instead of using print function, what we'll go ahead and do now is we'll use another function called input. What's the point for this is it's basically going to give us something, some input function, a function that's going to be able to take some inputs from the user. Let's take a look in action. So what you need to type is you need to type input and then parenthesis. Notice now the IntelliJ snippet going to give me some hint. It's going to say it need a prompt. It's going to need a prompt. And the prompt is basically the question that a user gonna, the program that you're gonna ask to a user. Specifically, gonna say input, and then I'm gonna put a string here, and I'm just gonna say, what's your name?
For me, I can't open io.py. It says command not found.
Okay, did you create io.py?
I did.
Okay, did you type Python space io.py?
No.
You cannot just type io.py and run this. Not yet, at least. But now, this is how we can dealing with some inputs. And if you want to see this input, see how its behavior looks like, you can run this Python io.py. Now you can see it asks me, what's your name? What's your name? Let me type my name here. And now the program quits because that's all the code that I write. So now you can see we have what's your name, and then Boyuan. You can see again, you can see I can start to type. Instead of see some response or some print statement made by my program, I can actually start to type responses. And I could do that pretty easily for just using inputs. And they're gonna style in, I'm gonna put input in this way. I'm gonna put input as a value of a variable. Notice that I'm directly assigning the inputs function to a variable.
No, it still says can't open io.py, no such file or directory.
Okay, I will take a look at your issue in just a little bit. But now you can see what we are doing now is we are setting a name variable and its value going to be equal to this input function. And it turns out that input function, this later going to be evaluated as my actual input. In this case, is my name in a string format. So the input function going to change it. So the value of this input function, you can think, is going to equals to whatever I type. In this case, it's just going to equals to my name. And then I might say, okay, so now I learned how to use inputs, setting variables. Can I print out the variable as well? I can try to print out the variable and see what we got. So now I'm just going to add print name. Print name. And then I'm going to run the io.py again. Python io.py, what's your name? John. Now I can see it's print out John here. What's your name? Boyuan, prints out my name here. Again, how did we do this? It's the input function, and then we said name equals to the input function, which this input function later gonna get equals to, were evaluated to whatever users type were response made to this input function, and they're gonna print out this variable, which is name. Okay. All right. So that's quite interesting, I would say. But does anybody have any questions so far?
I still need help.
Okay, I will fix your question really quick. I'll fix your issue really quick. But does anybody else have any questions? Do you guys need me to go faster or go slower? Or do you guys think the speed is good? Or you can type in the chat if you want to. Okay. Let me follow my previous class, so you should be good. Yeah? Does anyone have any
When I
questions?
type Python io.py, it doesn't work, but when I press the run button, it works. So I'm not really sure what's happening.
Okay, never used this run button before. I will just see what's the output for it. There's no practical difference. Okay. Okay, I'll go ahead. Okay, yeah.
When I do the print name thing, it just says that it's not defined.
Okay. Make sure you actually set name equals to this. Okay. Name equals to this. So then it's gonna know that you define a variable. Otherwise, you try to use a variable before you define it, it's gonna give you an error. Okay. Okay. So all right, I'm gonna let Kaiser to share his screen first. See what issue does he got for us. Kaiser, if you can share screen, please. All right. Okay. Well. Okay. Well, I'm not intended. Okay. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Let's try this. Let's try this. Since Kaiser's the first one to ask me, Kaiser, could you share your screen first, please? All right. There we go.
Do you see it?
It still says it's still loading. Okay, there we go. You didn't turn autosave on. That's a problem. So
Oh,
you didn't turn autosave on. If you go to File, see, you still didn't turn autosave on. Click on it. Now you need, okay. Yeah, now you have autosave on. Now I can close the file.
I told you my computer's a little bit slow.
It's fine. Just try to close your file. Open io.py again. Okay, now try to run your file again. Okay, could you type ls really quick? Okay, that's really weird. Still not saving it. Okay, gonna request remote control. Actually, it's gonna be hard for you. Okay, does your variables.py works? Yeah, you need to open system preference and you need to fill out your password and check Zoom for me to be able to control the screen. But okay.
Me trying to open it, but it still won't come up.
Okay, let's see. RO guy, actually a lot of issues. Okay, how about this? If you have any issues, could you raise your hand, please? Because I start to forget who has issue, who has not. If you can raise your hand, that would be great.
CD.
Okay, let's see. I'm not sure. Okay, your variables.py doesn't work because it cannot find that file anyway. Okay, could you try to resave your file? So could you try to just go to File?
Okay.
Wait, your file is in the CS folder. Okay. How about this? Could you drag io.py out of CS? So just drag io.py down.
Down?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Now try to run the command again, python io.py on your terminal. Okay, there you go. I don't know why it's creating the CF folder for. That's really weird, but yeah, it's under the CF folder. So that's something you need to check as well. All right, who's the second person who said they have some issue? Please share your screen, please. Or if nobody remembers, whoever can share the screen, who am I gonna help first? Who can share the screen first? Okay, Andrew, let's see. Okay, that's because notice you don't define a variable name first. You didn't say something like name equals to. So what you need to do is move 3 up. Whoops, that's a bad arrow. You need to move 3 up, and then you need to put name equals to input. And what's your name? So basically you move this up, so in front of line 2, basically. All right. Yeah, you need to. Okay, good. Yeah. Okay. Now to remove line 1. How about this? Just remove line 1. Just remove line 1.
What?
Just remove line 1.
Yeah, but there's nothing but like the whole line or
Yeah, the whole line.
but Wait,
What?
how do you remove line 1?
You just backspace it.
Okay.
Okay, now add name equals to on line 3. No, on line 3. So add name equals to in front of input. So you are not actually defining a variable.
So,
No. In front of input. So at the beginning of line 3. Yeah, right where's my annotation is. Okay, type name equals.
okay.
Equals. And then print, and then backspace, and then print name. No, not backspace, sorry. Press equal. Okay,
Yeah.
now create a new line after line 3, and just say print name. Print parenthesis name. Okay. Now if you run this on the terminal again. Could run this on the terminal. So just type python io.py again. Yep. Okay. Could you try to type python io.py instead of pressing the green button? So press Control C to quit the terminal. Control C on your keyboard. Okay. Could you now try to type python io.py? Because I want you to know how to run a Python file natively without pressing the green button. Python space io.py. io.py. Press enter. All right, there you go. So now you can see it also works. So I will prefer you guys to just type in the terminal instead of pressing the green button, because most of the time you don't have that green button with you. So you know how to compile file natively is a great way to help to know better in Python. So you don't have to worry about if you don't have the green button or not. All right. Does somebody else have any questions? You can just share your screen. Share your screen, please. Kevin and Sarah can share your screen. First, I'm going to help. Actually, how about this? Kevin, could you share your screen? If nobody shares, because you're the first one. Will send me a chat message, Kevin. Kevin, are you still here? Okay, there we go.
Okay, yeah, for me, do you see this part? Doesn't yours is way different than mine. Mine didn't come with like one.
Okay, so this is not exactly a terminal. This is the list of ports. We're not going to use this just yet, though. So what you need to do is create a new terminal.
It just says terminal. Just go to terminal.
Yeah, there you go. You just create a new terminal.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, well, okay. You need to save your file as well.
Okay, yeah.
All right, Sarah. Okay, Sarah, could you share your screen, please? Yours looks a little bit weird. User is not authorized. That's really weird.
Yeah, I can't access the thing because it's not letting me get in.
Okay, could you share your screen? Do you know how to share a screen? Yeah, Donald. Okay, let's see. Okay, you're not. Okay, could you click on user is unauthorized? Huh. This is really weird. Air user is unauthorized. This is really weird. Okay. Okay, Donald, right? Okay, I'm gonna send you a link and see if could you type that link and try again? Could you use this link and try again, Donald? Check your chat, please. Check your chat and then see if this links work. Let me know if it still doesn't work. I never saw that issue before.
The link still didn't work.
Still didn't work. It's just not authorized. Okay, could you try to log out and log back in again, or have you already tried that? Could you try to log out and log back in again? See if that fixes the problem. All right. So now we talk about some basic inputs and outputs. It turns out that you guys' homework for this week is also about inputs and outputs, but it's a little more trick adds on to it. I will talk about the homework at the end of the class. We still have 9 minutes before the break, so we'll now go ahead and talk about the basics of conditional statements. But does anybody have any questions, just to make sure, about input and output and variable in Python? Does anybody have any question? Okay, I hope I'm not going too fast to you guys. If I'm going too fast, just unmute and yell at me, please. All right, so now I'm gonna create a new file and I'm gonna name this as conditional 0. But before I begin, I just wanna ask one question. Has anybody heard of conditional statements before? Whoops, I forgot to share my screen again. Okay, does anybody heard of conditional statements before?
What is it called? Conditional 0.py.
Conditional 0.py. I mean, name don't have to be exactly the same, but this can help you to simplify whenever you are typing. Okay, chat messages. While it's not a conditional. Okay, well, are they if statements? Yeah, they're if statements. They're exactly if statements. Okay, so let's take a look. Since some of you already knew this, it should be pretty easy for me. Conditional statements in math should be the same thing. It's basically this. If something is true, then I want you to do something. Okay? Do something.
So if it's false, it won't do it.
It won't do it. So if it's true, do something. For example, if it's raining, so I'm gonna erase and then I'm gonna start my beautiful drawing. So if it's raining, whoops. If it's raining, my beautiful drawing of rain. If it's raining, then what you might want to do is bring an umbrella with you. All right, my perfect drawing of an umbrella and a rain cloud. Okay, great. Okay, so again, here is the idea. If it's raining, bring an umbrella with you, okay? If it's raining, bring an umbrella with you. This is a basic concept of programming. If raining is true, if the outside is raining, you need to bring an umbrella. If the outside is not raining, then that means you don't have to bring an umbrella, right? So this is the basic ideas of conditional statements. And let's see how can we incorporate this into Python. So let me go ahead and turn my mouse back on. And then here's what I'm gonna do. All the conditional statements are known as if statements. So they begin with the keyword if. And then is what we call a Boolean expression. Boolean expression. Has anyone heard of Boolean before? Has anyone heard of Boolean before?
Yeah.
All right, chat message.
For some reason, it sounds like a Halloween fitness workouts.
Okay.
Like if you just separate like boo and lean.
It's sort of like true and false.
Yeah.
It's
true or false.
It is exactly true and false. That's what Boolean means in programming. And the Boolean can only have two values, which is a value of true and false. There are no such another value that can be a Boolean value. So Boolean just means true and false. False, okay? True and false. So a Boolean expression might be this. A Boolean expression might be this. If true. All right. So I'm gonna ask you guys a ridiculous question. Don't worry about the code that's right after true. What is true equals? Is it true same as true? Is it true same as true, everybody? Can somebody make a response? It's true same as true.
Somebody stop doing this. Somebody stop audio.
Okay. I'm just gonna ask one more time. I think this is pretty easy. You don't have to raise your hand to respond to this, by the way. Just unmute your mic and talk. Is the true same thing? Is true equals to true?
Yes.
Great.
Yeah.
Yes, true is true, right? So that means whatever under this true, whatever under this if statement, whatever under this, it's gonna get run because true is true. And then I can write some code. For example, I'm just gonna say print out hello world. And then I'm only gonna do this when the true is true. Excuse me, and then true is always gonna be true, so I can just run this. Python conditional 0.py. Now I see hello world printed on the screen, right? So this is the ideas of conditional statements. Again, a conditional statement always begin as a keyword if, and then a Boolean expression. A Boolean expression can be evaluated as mathematical expression as well. X can be is 1 greater than 1, 1 less than 1, or 1 equals to 1. I'm going to explain what is equals to me in the next part of this session. But for now, you guys can take a 10 minutes break. We're going to resume our class at roughly about 4:07. If I'm good at time counting, 4:07, and this is where we'll resume our class, and then we'll come back and talk more about conditional statements. So have a great break. I may not be here, so if you ask any questions, if I don't respond, just send me in the chat, and I will be check WhatsApp back. All right, great break, and see you guys after 10 minutes.
Can you do that timer thing? Like the timer you did at the other class?
Didn't he just say he wasn't going to be here?
Oh, whatever.
So,
Yeah.
no. Oh, by the way, if you're seeing that I'm holding a blanket, it's just because I have ADHD, so I have a very hard time concentrating.
You're what? I'm bored. Suddenly when there's no class, I'm bored.
Wow. Then we have some time.
All right, so welcome back as our time reaches beginning 0. For those of you who is interested in the actual code, here is the code. Here is the code. Here's the code. If you want to take a look at this.
You post the code in the chat.
I'm not gonna really paste it. I'm not. Okay, it's gonna look ugly, but here's some extra pieces of code if you're interested. Don't just directly copy and paste into your Python compiler because it's gonna yell at you for syntax here. So why the input always return a string even if I put a number in it? That's a great question. By default, input function going to assume you return a string, unless you intinify it, as I would call it, or change a string into an int. I can show you how to do that in just a little bit. Let's see. Okay. I will send you the link again. Yes, and then Evan, I changed the code is pretty much similar, but it's basically a little more fancier. So I don't need to know how many seconds there are left. It's gonna calculate the second. I just need to know when to start. So when to end the timer. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And then let me go ahead and share my actual screen again. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and show you how to intinify it really quick. So I'll go to io.py, and here's what I'm gonna do. Instead of just what's your name, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say number equals to input enter a number. All right, and then here's the quick way to check what type it is. There's a quick way to check what type a variable is, where whatever the value is, I could just say type number, and I'm going to say Python io.py. Enter number 10. Now you can see it's class dir. It's a string. So now how can I change it to an integer? Well, I could change it to integer by just using name equals to int, and I'm gonna put our number in it. So now it's automatically gonna output us a string. Output us a int. So now if I try to print out the type of the number again, you can see now it says class int, because what I used to call it is I intinify it. Okay, intinify. So I changed the string into an int, basically. All right. And I will go ahead and reset the link really quick. Download. All right. Okay, so let's go back to our conditional statements. Okay, so now what I want to talk about is the double equal sign and the single equal sign, the differences between them. What do you guys think the difference is between? What do you guys think the difference between the double equal sign and the single equal sign? If you already followed me in the previous class, don't say it. Don't spoil it for other students. If you don't really know this, do you want to take a guess? What do you think a single equal sign mean? And what do you think a double equal sign mean?
Can you do a double screen of the io.py? Haven't finished typing.
Okay. All right. I can do that really quick. io.py, come on here. Okay, actually no, it's like this. There it is. All right. So does anybody know the difference? Does anybody want to guess what's the difference between a single equal sign and a double equal sign? Does anybody want to guess? So think about what do we use for a single equal sign. Think about what do we use for a double equal sign. Okay, does anybody want to guess? Anybody? All right. Well, the single equal sign, it means assignment. whoops. Single equal sign means assignment, while double equal sign means comparison. A double equal sign means comparison. All right. Yeah, exactly. Double equal sign means comparison. It's specifically checking the equality between the two expressions that you have. Okay. It's checking the equality that two expression it has. Okay. So okay. So now you can see. So now 1 indeed is equals to 1. So now it's gonna, if I run Python conditional 0.py, now I can see hello world. You see hello world upon appear on the screen, because indeed 1 is 1. All right. So does anyone have any questions or any feedback want to make about comments on conditional statements?
Can you go back to the code? Can you go back to the code, specifically the terminal?
All right. Yeah, there, here you go. All right. Okay, so if none of you guys have any questions, here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do. Now I'm going to talk about a more sophisticated example of a conditional statement using the example of a driving age in California. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and create a more sophisticated example of driving age in California to demonstrate how a sophisticated if statement looks like. So it turns out that in California, I made this example numerous times already, actually, but in California, you really need to only be 15.5 years of age to be able to drive a vehicle, with parents' permission, of course. With parents' permission, of course. So with parents' permission, of course. So now what I want to do is I have 3 expressions. So if the age is less than if the age is less than 15.5, then you cannot drive a car at all. But if your age is greater than or equals to 15.5 and your age is lower than 18, then
Wait,
you
I didn't make the I just need to make the conditional 1 pi thingy. New file. Conditional 1.py.
Okay. All right.
Hashtag age. Hashtag age 15.5.
Okay. Okay. You don't need to type all these comments. This is what we call comment, and you don't need to type all of that. You can just look at it for now. Okay. You just need to look at it for now. Okay. So and then let me just finish my expressions. So all right. I'm not sure. Can you guys still see my screen?
Yeah.
I can see your screen.
Same.
Can you guys see me typing?
No, I don't see you typing.
Yeah, it seems like it's frozen. You're frozen too. Oh, you know.
Let's see. I'm just gonna.
Share. Or its connection.
Now it should work. All right. Now you guys can see me typing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So if your age is between 15.5 and 18, you can drive a car with parent permission. Or if your age is greater than 18, you can drive a car without parental permission. Okay, this is the example of California CMV law, as far as I know, which, yeah. Okay, all right, so now let's take a look. Okay. So now here's where we're going. So here is how we can construct a conditional statement that checks the age and then print out some relatively interesting code. And print out some relatively print out some statements basically. So we could do this. There are two ways to do it. One way is to just make 3 conditional statements to check all these 3 different expressions. So for example, I can just define an age by myself. User don't even need to enter anything for now. And I'm just gonna say if age is less than 15.5, then I'm just gonna say you can't drive a car. And then I'm gonna say if age is greater than or equal to 15.5, and age is less than 18, and I can say print you can drive a car with parental permission. And then finally I can say if age is greater than 18, then I can print you can drive a car without parental permission. So this is the 3 ways that I can print out different expressions. And then now I can check this by just typing Python conditional1.py. And then you can see since I set the age variable is 15, 15 is indeed less than 15.5. So you just print out you can't drive a car. And since 15 is not greater than 15.5, it's not going to print out you can't drive a car. Or since the age is not greater than 18, so it's not going to say you can drive a car without parental permission. So does anybody have any question with how can we construct a 3 conditional statement this way? Does anybody have any question? All right, does anybody have any suggestion? Or does anybody see some unnecessary steps that we might make if you write a conditional statement like this? Does anybody see something where we can improve? Yes. So somebody mentioned a really great part, Alika. So sorry for pronouncing your name incorrectly. We can use, so we'll just talk about if. But here is a question. If we just put 3 conditional statements, it works, you can see. But it's no matter what, this age gonna check 3 times. First, it's gonna check, is it less than 15.5? Then it's gonna check, is it greater than 15.5 and less than 18? Finally, it's gonna check, is it greater than 18? It is completely unnecessary to check these 2 if this one is true, because at any given time, there's only one expression can be true. So now what I can do is I can start to use if, else, if, and else. It turns out it's really easy. So now what I can do is I can add el in front of if on the second conditional statement. If means else if. Basically, it just checks otherwise if the condition above is not true, Then check this condition. See if this condition is true. And then I'm gonna change the final condition to just else. Else, yeah. I'm actually just wait for 1 sec. I'm going to finish my sentence really quick. Else is basically happens at the bottom. So if all of the above conditional statements not correct, then do whatever said in the else. So else is more like a default case or something like that, if you want to think about it that way. But yeah, this is if, elif, and else. All right. Yes, Kaiser, what's your question?
The same thing. A lot of the problems are basically I can't seem to upload run the file because it just says no such file or directory. And to add to the insult, I already saved it twice, auto-saved it twice.
Okay, here is your problem. How about this? Try to run this. Instead of running Python conditional1.py, run this. Python cia conditional1.py. See if it works for you.
To add an extra bit of insult, yeah, it says no such file or directory again.
Okay. Okay, could you type ls really quick?
So we're doing this ls and cd.
No, we're yeah, you can think about it this way. Just try to type ls. Do you need to share? Probably share the screen and make it faster. Could you just share the screen to make it a little bit more faster? Could you share your screen, Kessler? All right, there you go. You're okay. Yeah.
Do you see it?
Okay. Yeah, I created it inside of the CF folder. So what you need to, okay, that's really weird why you created that in CF folder, but to just make it work, here's how I can do. Okay, first, it's not Cioia, it's Cia, so not this O, so there's no O here. But could you just type CD workspace? CD workspace. All right, no such directory, that's great. ls really quick, please. Wait, what? Okay, could you refresh your page?
Refresh.
Refresh your page, yeah. Okay, I have Python installed in my computer, but when I type elif and highlight invalid syntax. Okay, I will take a look in just a little. Actually, could you share your screen as well? Kaiser, just refresh your page and tell me after you finish refreshing. And then I'm gonna change it to multiple. All right, so, okay.
Dang it, it has that error. It's
What?
not an error, no such file or directory.
Okay, could you just refresh the page? So refresh the entire page.
Like, refresh.
Yeah. Okay. Amy, could you share your screen as well?
Only one person can share their screen at a time, so I have to stop share.
No. No, I just turned simultaneously. Multiple participants can share simultaneously. There's an option to set that, so you can keep sharing your screen. Well, unless you don't want to. Okay, Sarah, you have your hands raised. Do you have any questions?
I forgot to lower my hand.
Okay. All right. All right, Amy, could you share your screen, please? Amy, are you still here? Amy, are you still here? Okay. Well, okay. Amy, you just said it said in last syntax you type LF, right?
It was my sister's name, so I didn't really react.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Could you share your screen now?
Okay, I have a monitor screen, so.
Share wherever your code screen is, basically.
Okay.
I mean, I never used dual monitor before, so.
So, like, I'm on. Wait, am I sharing? So I'm on this, and then when I type, elif, and then it highlights like the E here, puts it red, and then it says invalid syntax. Like.
Okay, that because you need to put LF under EF. So I'm gonna do this. Hopefully you don't have a MacBook. Yeah, you don't. Could you give me remote access control so I can show demonstration to you really quick. So here's how can you use LEF. You cannot by just using LEF, by just typing LEF. You start by using EF. So you need to start by typing if. And I'm just gonna say, since I want LEF to run, so I'm just gonna say if 1 plus 1 is less than 2, for example, which is wrong. And then you can see now it's automatically indented for me, which you need to. I'm gonna print out mass no longer work. All right. Okay, I'm just gonna wait and finish typing. And then what you can do is you can press enter again, backspace it, and now I can type LEF. LEF, and then I can just say 1 plus 1 equals to 2, equals to 2, which is true. So this should get run, and then I'm just gonna say print 1 plus 1 equals 2. All right. So okay, there's some mistyping here. So now if you try to run this again, you can see 1 plus 1 is higher than 2. So now you can see now the LEF works, doesn't have a right syntax highlighting. That's because LEF has to come after EF. Because you cannot have LCF if you don't even have a EF, right? So that's basically why. All right, let's see. Bowen, you have your hand raised. Do you have any questions as well? And Kaiser, could you share your screen as well if it finished refresh?
What should I do? Like, I have a question.
Yeah, what's your question?
My question is, when I do like the, do like the print thingy, it just has like this, like red underline mark. So what should I do for it?
Okay. The reason because you're not supposed to use a comma. On line 7, you're not supposed to have a comma. You are supposed to say if age is less than. So change the comma on line 7 to less than. Yeah.
So what should I write? Less than?
Less than. Yeah, the math symbol. Less than.
Can you help me now?
Yeah, I can share your screen. Sorry about
No
that.
way.
All right.
No way. I did.
Okay, can you share your screen? Turn simultaneous. Well, okay. Sorry about that. I will help you in just a little bit. Sorry. Yeah, Bowen, what you just said?
I did the less than then sign. I think I did it.
Yeah, that's because you have many symbol error, even down with LF. So that's just one of them. You need to fix all. Okay, I'm gonna help you in just 1 second, Bowen and Ethan. I'm gonna let Kessler to share his screen first. Kessler, could you share your screen first? So, because your error should be an easy one.
Yep, this is my error.
Wait, Kessler, this is your code? Okay. Could you press enter now? On your turn. Okay. Okay, now your conditional 1 is outside. So now you can do Python conditional 1.py.
Watch. You. Wow.
It says invalid syntaxes.
Okay, for some reason, it has the same code, same error as Bowen. So Bowen, if you could take a look, because I'm solving the same issue as you, it's your codes have. So you need to change this comma to less than. Change the
Wait, but I did. But I
equals.
did it.
Okay, do the same thing. Wait for
I
me to
did.
finish. Wait for me to finish. There is a lot of issue with your code. So just wait for me to finish, and then you will see if it works. If it still doesn't work, just let me know. You can press this arrow, yeah, to close it. Now change this dot to yellow. I mean, not to yellow. Change this dot to equal sign. Type 2 equal sign. 2 equal signs. Double equal, because they are the compared equality. And then change this to double equal sign as well. Double equal sign. Yeah. And then rest of it should be good. Now you can run again.
Python conditional dot
You just spell condition.
py.
Yeah. No drive code
for you. No drive code for you.
Okay, great. Good. Now code work.
I'm just trying to be funny on the code.
Yeah, feel free. Okay. All right, let's see who is next. Bowen, right? Bowen, I think I just fixed your issue because your issue is basically the same. Does it still tell an error?
I still think so, cause like it's so one of like some of my lines are just like okay.
Green, I can take a look. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, you do have different error. So this is indentation error. Okay. So you need to indent on line 8. Okay. Could you just?
Oh, what?
It's fine. It's fine. Could you indent on line 8? So move your cursor at beginning of line 8 and then press tab once.
On tab?
Yeah. Or you can press spaces, but I prefer tab. Okay. Then first remove this. First remove this white space. Okay. Remove this white space. Remove. Okay. Still have white space. You still have white spaces. Be in front of H. Could you remove that as well?
Like that?
Look, there's still spaces. There's just spaces, right? So could you remove these spaces, please?
Okay.
There's still some spaces as I underlined for you. So move your cursor. Okay, could you press right arrow once? Okay, now backspace.
Oh, right.
No. Just backspace. Okay, you know what? Backspace.
Yeah.
Backspace.
Backspace?
Backspace.
Yeah.
Delete. Backspace. Yeah, there you go.
Backspace?
Okay, now type ELIF. No.
ELIF?
Press enter first. No. Okay, press enter first.
Enter?
Yeah. Okay, did you press enter key?
I did.
Okay, now backspace. Backspace, not press enter. Just delete backspace. Backspace delete.
I did.
No, you didn't.
I did do that.
You didn't. I want you
Eh?
to move the age to right in front of 10. There's still spaces between them. Yeah, there you go. Okay, now I want you to type ELIF.
ELIF.
Yes. Okay. Okay, could you move your cursor away a little bit, please? Because I need to see your code. And the snippet's hiding. Okay. Okay, just type ELIF.
Okay, I did here.
You didn't. I cannot see on your screen. Unless you did
Well,
it. Did you type?
here I did.
Did you type ELIF?
Yeah, I did it in front of the one. I did it in the
Okay,
front of the.
All right, good.
Space.
Press a space. Maybe that's some lagginess. But press a space for wherever your cursor is right now.
I did.
Press
a space.
Space key. You know the space bar, right? The longest bar.
Yeah, I did. I did.
Okay, it didn't show on
I'll
me.
try to do.
Anyway, if you press that, now move your cursor to the beginning of line 10.
Yeah. Okay, beginning of line 10.
Press tab.
Okay, I did. Tab.
You did it as well?
Yeah.
Okay, now add the right parenthesis, closing parenthesis on line 8, where my annotation is.
Okay. Okay, I did it.
Now it should work for you if you did it, everything.
Okay, good. I'm done. Good.
All right, great. Good job. All right, Ethan, could you share your screen as well? Or if you don't, would you have general questions?
Syntax error for no reason why.
What?
I got a syntax error for no reason why. Let me share my screen.
All right. Most of the time it does have a reason, but sometimes it's more like an indentation error.
Yeah, I don't get why this.
Okay. Sorry to interrupt you, but you forgot a colon on else.
Oopsies.
And now I should fix your syntax.
Thanks.
You're welcome. All right. So now we only have roughly about 20 minutes left. So I want you guys to go ahead and get started on the homework. I will go ahead and so here is your what do you need to do. Okay, here's what do you need to do for your homework. I can't believe most of you are still here.
Homework.
We have homework. Yep. So I know that you're actually learning something.
I get homework. Hooray!
Well, I mean, you need to do this, whatever. Okay, here's a homework assignment link. You can click on it. And then I'm going to talk about the specific instruction. So I'm also going to give you guys some hint along the way. And you can start working, and I'm going to tell you how to submit as well. So it's auto grading. So once you submit, you will immediately see a score. All right. So let's see. Background, remember about inputs and outputs. This is specifically focused on the inputs and outputs. So we'll use a tool called GitHub Classroom. What I want you to do is go ahead and click on this assignment invite link. Please go ahead and click on this assignment. How about this? Can one people just share their screen so I can have the student view? Because I already created a repo. It's gonna look different for you guys. So can somebody just share their screen? Anybody? All right, thank you, Andrew. Yeah, okay, could you go to /week? Okay, since I didn't put on the assignment yet, but could you in the address bar just add /week0/hello.html? Yep. All right, here is your assignment. So now basically what you need to do is click on this assignment invite link. Now I can go ahead, authorize GitHub. All right, type your password. Or if you want pause sharing, it's fine. There should be a button called pause sharing, which should be freeze, and then you can type the password. And then you can reshare, unpause. Yeah, there you go. And now I can see during the classroom, don't worry about it. skip to the next step. All right, so accept this assignment. Now it should go ahead and create a GitHub repository for you guys. And then should importing some starter code as well. So this step gonna take a while. So I would recommend guys to go ahead and wait for a few minutes.
I'm stuck at this one part.
Yeah, this part takes like forever.
If do you mean by forever, do you mean like
Not by literally, but maybe, I mean, sometimes it's taking like, I don't know. But okay, how about this? In another tab, could you just type github.com? Just open another tab, yeah, type github.com. Is there a way to use what? Is there a way to use computer installed version of Python with the class? Yes. Okay, I think it's already created for you. Go ahead and click on. Okay, how about this? Just go to GitHub. Just go to GitHub. Click on that with me /assignment 0 hello a candy. If it doesn't work, it should disappear on the repo already. Anyway. Okay, there you go. It didn't have the README file yet. So I guess we need to wait for a little bit more because you need to, there should be an online workspace that you can work with. Could you click on the .replit file? .replit? Yeah. Okay, that's not helpful. Okay, could you go back? All right. Could you refresh the screen as well? I'm waiting for a file called readme.md get created. It really takes forever. Oh my God, it's making all these 30 comments. Okay, it's gonna take like quite like a long time. Is there a way to use computer installed version of Python?
so no wonder why you're telling us now at 5:44.
Yeah.
We're just waiting for this thing to just be installed.
Yeah. Sometimes fast, sometimes it's really slow. It's because I think I made 30 comments for some reason.
What's the longest time this has ever taken for you?
For me,
Yeah.
literally forever. I just cannot wait and refresh the screen. But I'm not sure what the consequence after refresh the screen is, to be honest. But I mean, I don't know what exactly.
Mine is still creating GitHub repository. It's already been there for like 5 minutes, and it's stuck at the same place.
Okay.
Getting really boring.
Yeah. I
I
can.
guess you know what? I'm just gonna leave this computer on for all the way through the night and see it when I wake up in the morning. See if it actually works.
It should work. Okay. How about okay?
Wait.
Okay. I don't recommend you guys to refresh the screen like I did, but
I remember those replits we made.
yeah.
Barely moving.
Yeah. We're gonna make a lot of more.
I'm gonna share this.
Okay. How about this? So.
Because I have ADHD, I hate waiting.
Okay. All right. Since it's taking absolute forever to get the repository set up, I'm just gonna go ahead and share this right here. Okay, could you refresh your GitHub repository at the top? Not this one. Yeah, this one. Could you refresh it? See how many commits we've been made so far. Okay, I think it's gonna over when the commits count is about 30 or something.
What do you mean comments?
Commits, thus. I think it's gonna be over when it's at roughly about like 30. This number get increased to 30. That's I think when it's gonna be roughly like over. Oh my God, that's a lot.
Oh.
Okay, let me take a look. All right. We will just wait for 5:50. If it still doesn't work, so we will wait for 3 more minutes. And then we'll see if it still doesn't work, then I guess that's if it still doesn't work, I don't know what should I say about it.
Yeah.
Okay, let me take a. Okay, that's a lot of issues. Okay, there is a way to do it. Okay, so then since this assignment is pretty simple anyway, what I want you guys to do is if it still doesn't, so if it didn't show a README file, what I want you guys to do is, could you refresh it for one more time? Okay, good. So I don't think it's keep committing now. So what I want you to do is, okay. Yeah, I don't think README sometimes working. Okay, what I want you to do is go ahead and click on this add file. So now, your GitHub repository already being created. It just takes a really long time for some reason. And go ahead and click on create new file. All right, and then go ahead and name your file as hello.py. You must name your file like this, hello.py. And now what you're going to type is...
My name is not Kelsey.
All right.
How did somebody get it wrong?
Okay. Well, anybody, could you pay attention to the screen first? I mean, to the code part. So you should create a file. So now if you go to github.com, you should be able to see a repo created as something like this, dev with me / assignment -0 -hello -username, your username. And then just go click on that repository and then choose create a new file. All right, choose create a new file. And then now this is hello.py. What I want you to type is this. Type name equals input. Name equals input with parenthesis, input parenthesis. All right, and then on the second line, what I want you to type is print parenthesis. And then inside of the parenthesis, I want you to type quotation marks first, since we are doing a string. And then hello, capitalized H. Hello is capitalized H. Comma.
It's still loading for me.
Still loading. Okay, hello. Okay, remove world part. We're not gonna add world. After the quotation mark, type plus. Not in the parenthesis though. Yeah, type plus. No, just symbol plus. Symbol plus. Yeah, and then you're gonna type name. All right, now scroll down and then commit the changes you made. Commit new file. So this is how you can do the starter code. And then I want you to go ahead and go to actions. This is some of most complicated stuff. I will make a video as well to explain it better. Go ahead, click on this. Click on create hello.py. This is where you can see your grade. All right, scroll down. And now you can see here's your score. You get 3 out of 4 points. This is your score, 3 out of 4, because there is one test that you're not passing. And then to pass a test, you need to read the assignment description that's posted in the website. To read that, if you want to get full points, okay? there is assignment description, and then you can take a look at that. But yeah, that should be about it, your process for submitting your work, how to check your grade and stuff like that. Okay. Thank you, Andrew, for sharing your screen. Yeah, that's about it. Does anybody have any questions? I know this is a complicated step, but that's the easiest step that I can think for now.
I'm not sure.
Kind of boring.
What?
I'm not sure how to like get to the website where you have the like create thing and where's.
Okay, so if you cannot follow me for the above, I will first attach a video later, and then where you can just go here. I'm gonna send a link again. This is basically the assignment description. So it described, I'm pretty sure it described pretty clearly of what you should do, what your step is, including what you need to do for the assignments and how could you get started and how could you submit your work. Okay, so that's the link. But
I'm still waiting. It's still just there.
I don't know why it takes that long.
Well, I know what you mean by when it takes forever.
I don't know why it takes that long.
It's been stuck in the same place for 10 minutes already.
Yeah, same.
I don't know why. This is like the best programming tool ever invented. It's called GitHub. It's really famous. Like every developer knows it. It have like even Google and Facebook are using this tool. It's basically for storing code, testing code, and stuff like that. Especially for open source code. But yeah, I mean,
Yawn.
There's like I think they have like 15 million developers using this tool. So probably maybe it's because so many people are using it, it's taking so long to commit. I'm gonna see how I can make next assignment faster. But anyway, here you go. You now successfully completed. If you now follow my steps, you now successfully get 3 points out of 4. So now it's on your own to figure out how to get that last point. But I'm gonna see why that's really weird for you guys. But I'm not sure why the Replit is not appearing. There should be a way that you can access your Replit online tool. I'm gonna see how can I make next assignment a little bit better for you guys. All right. Okay. I'm gonna see why the Replit doesn't work. But anyway, does anybody have any questions?
I'm still trying to wait.
It's taking really long. Cause like I don't want to keep switching tools because that's just gonna make it even more complicated. I just want to stick to this tool, but it's taking absolutely too long.
I'm still waiting.
All right. Does anybody have any question of variable, conditional statements, stuff like that we learned? Anybody have any questions about that?
Waiting. It's been stuck in the same place already.
Yeah, as it always does.
How do you go to the commits place again?
How do you go commits place?
Yeah,
Well, I'm just using one of my students repo, and then you should be able to click on this add file, create new file.
Commits place. Like I don't see like the commits place.
But after you do that, you should be able to see a commit place like this. Commit new file, commit new file.
Like no, like when I'm on the create your repository, I don't get where like that part is.
Create your repository.
Yeah.
You shouldn't create your. Okay, you need to go to GitHub.com.
It's still creating it.
Okay, well you can just wait to finish, I guess.
I'm still waiting.
Now it's most likely it's like, I think. Okay, you know what? It's probably taking 55 comments to finish everything off.
Oof.
Oh my god, I didn't make all these changes. The GitHub thing does. Okay, it's apparently taking. Okay, according to this student's repo, this repo finished setting up in about 17 hours.
What?
After 17 hours, it's finally stopped committing. Last commit is 4 hours ago. Well, the first commit is like 21 hours ago. It's roughly gonna take you guys 17 or 18 hours. Just
No.
I'm gonna see how can I make it faster next time. This tool is absolutely too slow. We have to change. This doesn't make sense.
You know what? Can you just email the GitHub people to ramp up their gig speed, please?
What?
It's still creating.
Can you email the GitHub people to ramp up their?
I could try, but they're big, so and COVID, I'm pretty sure nobody respond. But I mean.
Can they just ramp up their gig speed a bit?
Okay, well, it's just taking a lot of time. Okay, but I mean,
We'll keep on committing even if you can push and like close and shut down your computer.
I think it should keep committing whether you close the browser or not. You should be able to close it, but this repository already being created for you. I'm pretty sure the screen just lying to you. You can go to github.com, and then on the left-hand side, you should see something like this. You should see something like dev with me / assignments.
I found it.
0.
I have 15 commits right now.
Hello. You can add your own commit. If you can just get 4 out of 4, that's great. Before they even finish, because most of the stuff is already done. Not the workflow is set up. If you can just create a new file, then that's great. And then there should be your username after it. And then you can click on it, add file, create a file, name the file as hello.py, and then fill out the code, and then see if you can get 4 out of 4. Where I get 4 out of 4 in this assignment, I'm gonna award them something. Okay. Whoever gets 4 out of 4. If lots of people get 4 out of 4, I'm gonna see who the first one is, because doubt anybody gonna get 4 out of 4. Do you want to see the grade?
What's the code?
The code. You need to write your own code. I basically talk about it. So it's on the assignments. I actually prepared to give you guys 2 assignments to work on this week, but I decided to not do that. Anyway, thanks for attending this Zoom session. And it's 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then if you guys have any questions, feel free to email me. My email, if you guys want to save it, please save it immediately before the Zoom ends. Here's my email. I have you guys' email as well, because I need, and I'm probably gonna send some updates regularly to you guys. But here's my email if you want to save it. And then thanks for attending the Zoom class. And then hope you can complete assignment, and see you guys next week. All right.
Bye.
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 Bye. See you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.
You.